Welcome back everyone to the 2018 1000cc Buyer's Guide Euro Edition. Now, if you haven't seen the Japanese edition where we compared the Honda CBR600RR, Suzuki GSX-R1000, Kawasaki Ninja ZX-10R, and Yamaha R1, then there will be a link below in the description for you to check out. If you're not familiar with the series, then this is where I take a group of motorcycles, compare them all on paper, and then give you my thoughts and opinions on each via a ranking system. The ranking system will score each bike from 1 to 4 points. There are 5 categories, which are performance, practicality, aesthetics, features, and value. After all the categories are scored, the motorcycle with the most points will win. One final note, we will be comparing the base trim level of each bike. This week's video is all about the European bikes, and today we'll be comparing the following: the Aprilia RS V4, the BMW S1000RR, the Ducati Panigale V4, and the MV Agusta F4. With that out of the way, let's begin our introductions. The first bike we're going to look at is the Aprilia RS V4. A bike after my own heart, the RS V4 has the thing I value most in all bikes, and that is the engine. And the RS V4 has, in my opinion, the best engine configuration money can buy, and that is the V4. The V4 is powerful and sounds amazing. The RS V4 is by far the best sounding bike we will be comparing today. However, there is more to the RS V4 than the engine. It is beautiful bodywork and a whole suite of electronics and technology from the latest and greatest. The Aprilia RS V4 is a contender and came to compete. Next is the BMW S1000RR. When BMW released their S1000RR in 2009, it was instantly a hit. The bike showed just how amazing a superbike can be. It pushed the boundaries and won every shootout. BMW has been continuing to redesign and update the S1000RR, but the same basic elements are still there, and it is still winning shootouts. Although it has been about 3 years since the last update and the other bikes in the competition are quickly closing the wide gap that the S1000RR created, will the S1000RR continue to bat away the competition, or did the new bikes that were recently updated be enough to kick the S1000RR off its throne? Well, this next bike surely has its set on that throne, and that is the Ducati Panigale V4. I almost didn't include this bike, mainly because it has a 1103cc engine, so it is technically cheating with that extra 103 cc's. But where would be the fun in leaving this bike out? And if I can include the 636 in my 600 shootout, then I surely can include the Panigale V4 as well. The brand new Panigale V4 for 2018 is the first Panigale to have a V4 engine. This bike packs some serious performance and all the latest and greatest technology. And finally, we have the MV Agusta F4. The F4 has been around for a while and hasn't been updated in over 7 years, but MV Agusta designed the F4 to be a timeless motorcycle. It may not have the best performance, the latest and greatest technology, but it still packs an impressive amount of power for a bike designed in 2011, and it has beautiful looks to go along with that. Now with the introductions out of the way, let's get onto the categories. Starting with performance. The performance category is going to be reverted back to just considering the power to weight ratio in order to simplify the process and make a more consistent score. Also, I decided to only go by the dry weight of the bike. The main reason for that is the numbers were way easier to find and more consistent. Now here are the specs of each motorcycle. As you can see, the Panigale V4 easily wins the contest with a 1.8 power to weight ratio, followed by the BMW S1000RR, which got a 1.93, and then a close third would be the RS V4 with a 1.97, and a distant last place loser is the F4 with a 2.14. Our next category is practicality. In this category, we will measure the comfort of each bike and the daily capabilities and features. Now, I got to actually sit on all these bikes, including the Ducati. I wasn't able to ride any of these bikes though, so you can take my opinion with a grain of salt. I also am on the shorter side at 5'8", so keep that in mind. And last place is the MV Agusta. You can tell the second you swing a leg over that the MV Agusta was designed for the track. Clip-ons are so low and the seat is so high and stiff. It does have a single-sided swing arm, but I imagine the undertail exhaust gets hot. And the MV Agusta also weighs the most out of all the bikes, which is not a good thing for tooling around town. In third place is the Panigale V4, which does not come with a passenger seat or passenger foot pegs, and I'm not even sure it'd be possible to add them. Also, I know previous Panigales have trouble with heat. so that would be something to consider as well. It does have a single-sided swing arm though, which is nice for rear wheel removal. In second place is the RS V4. Overall, I thought the Aprilia was pretty comfortable, definitely more comfortable than the Panigale V4 and MV Agusta. And in first place is the S1000RR, which is easily the most comfortable. I even found it more comfortable than my 600, and it has the addition of having cruise control and optional heated grips. Now we are in the category I've been dreading since I started this video, and that's aesthetics. I know what you're thinking, why would you be dreading the aesthetics category? All of these bikes are stunning and unquestionably beautiful. Well, you are correct, they are all beautiful, and that is the problem. It's just impossible for me to rank these bikes, and I really mean that. I spent hours going back and forth on the ranks, but I just couldn't do it. So I turned to the poll I posted on my channel a few days ago, asking which bike you all thought was the best looking, and you all majorly voted for the Ducati Panigale, followed by the BMW S1000RR, then the RS V4, and then last place was the MV Agusta. So that's what we were going with, and those are the scores. Ducati won the aesthetics category. But before we move on, I just want to say that the MV Agusta is probably my personal favorite. It's a tough call between that and the RS V4. In fact, the image you are seeing right now has been my desktop background for over 2 years. MV Agusta, I think you have a gorgeous bike, even if I am in the minority. The people have spoken though, and the Ducati Panigale V4 gets first place. Our next category is features. Now let's compare the gauge cluster of each bike. Starting with the Ducati, we have a 5-inch TFT dashboard which is elegantly designed. I really love how the gear indicator is centered along the tachometer, which helps make all the important information seen at a glance. Next, we have the S1000RR, which doesn't look bad, but it's terribly antiquated. It's nice to have a gear indicator, but when compared to the other bikes in this segment, including the Japanese bikes, the BMW is just lagging behind, and it is in dire need of a refresh. On the upside though, I do like that it has a shift light. Now let's check out the RS V4, which also features a TFT display. It also has 2 selectable screen pages, road and race, each with a day and nighttime backlighting. I especially love how the display will actually show your lean angle. This is something that no one else does, and it is really cool. Finally, we'll take a look at the F4 dash, which doesn't look bad, but it is an LCD display, and because of that, it's definitely not as refined looking as the others. I do like the blue backlighting, but overall, I'm just not a fan of the display when compared to the TFTs offered from the Aprilia and Ducati. So in first place, we have unsurprisingly the Panigale V4. This bike features every piece of technology that the other bikes have, along with the gorgeous TFT display and single-sided swing arm. It's a well-featured bike and easily earns first place. Its only drawback is that the RS V4 has a lean angle indicator, but other than that, the V4 has it all. And in second place is the RS V4. As mentioned earlier, it has an awesome TFT display of its own and that crazy cool lean angle monitor. Along with that, it has all the same usual technology and features you'd expect from a superbike. And in third place, we have the S1000RR. The dashboard on the BMW is just antiquated. Along with that, nothing about the S1000RR makes it really stand out from the competition. And in last place is the MV Agusta, a very unsurprising loser here. With the MV not having any updates since 2011, it's just lagging behind terribly. The gauges are not bad, but they are not good either. And it has all the usual electronics, but they are unrefined and the competition simply blows the F4 away. And our final category is value. Starting in last place, we have the MV Agusta. At $20,900, you are buying a bike that was last updated in 2011. The MV Agusta may be a cool bike on many levels, but for your money, you are not getting anything groundbreaking or any real unique features. You're just getting a rare and unique bike that you don't see every day, which is cool, but I'm not sure if it's $20,000 cool. And in third place, we have the Panigale V4 at $21,195. I know this one shocks some people, but let me explain. Now I get the Panigale has the best features, the best power to weight ratio, and is simply one of the best bikes you can buy, but the problem is the buying part. Now if you have an unlimited budget, then the Ducati is a no-brainer, but for the average consumer, I'd go with the RS V4, which has a better sounding engine, and more importantly, the same features and technology, and is nearly $4,000 cheaper. So in second place, we have the BMW S1000RR. At a price of just $15,995, it is the cheapest bike here. It is also cheaper than most of the Japanese bikes as well, which when you consider what you were getting with the BMW is just insane. It's a crazy fast bike with all the technology you could want. It looks unique, and 16 grand it could be yours. It's an incredible value. but not as good of a value as first place, which is the Aprilia RS-V4. Let me make this simple for you guys. The best sounding engine on the list with a traditional V4, amazing looks, amazing features, and the only thing it lacks is a single-sided swing arm in my opinion, which is a shame, but for $17,499, it makes the most sense out of all the bikes here. It's an incredible value. I like the Panigale, but I don't believe it's a better value than the RS-V4. And that's it guys, now it's time to tally up the scores. Now it doesn't take a rocket scientist to know that the last place is the MV Agusta. It's the least practical bike here, the least powerful, the least featured. You guys believe it's the least beautiful, although I respectively disagree completely on that one. I think the MV Agusta is beautiful. And in fact, I think it's the most beautiful bike here. If it were up to me, then the MV Agusta would have scored 8 points. But because you guys rated it so lowly on beauty, it gets an abysmal 5 points, which basically means that we're giving the MV Agusta a participation trophy since it is the lowest rated bike I have ever scored. But I am not writing the F4 off yet. I think it's a charming bike with many cool features, and believe it or not, if I was rich and had the money, I probably would have an F4 over the other bikes, simply because I would hang it on the wall and just stare at it all day. The F4 is an awesome bike, but it's a 7-year-old design competing with the state-of-the-art bikes. It's no surprise it came in dead last. Now believe it or not, but to my surprise, when adding up the numbers, this was actually a very close contest to see who was third, second, and first. The point differential was only 1 between each of them. I thought it was going to be a lot higher than that. Now anyway, for third place scoring 14 points is the RS-V4. This one kind of blew my mind. I was convinced it was getting second place, but no, it actually got third place. Unfortunately, it looks like the RS-V4's looks and heavier weight kept it from claiming second place, or even maybe first place. I guess I'm just surprised by this. I always admired the RS-V4. I made a video about it a year ago and I talked about how amazing the bike was. I'm a sucker for V4s, and I always said that if I had to get a superbike, the RS-V4 would be the one simply based on the engine alone. But especially with the updates giving the RS-V4 a beautiful TFT display, up and down quick shifter, and much more, I don't know. I guess I'm just surprised it got third place. So in second place, scoring 15 points, is the BMW S1000RR. Again, I am stunned. The BMW is an amazing bike, but it hasn't been updated in a while. I didn't expect for it to score so high, but it did. The S1000RR is the most street-friendly superbike here, and it does look amazing. Although it is getting old and it will soon probably be redesigned. The 2018 model still holds up though, with plenty of features, insanely good performance, and an amazing value. The S1000RR is a fantastic bike, and any one of us would be lucky to have it in our garage. And in first place is the Ducati Panigale V4. The power to weight ratio of the V4 is unmatched by anything else in the class. The Panigale has a better power to weight ratio than even the Kawasaki Ninja H2. The bike is sophisticated, advanced, good-looking, fast, light, sounds decent, and is overall just a staple in history. The Panigale V4 is a first for Ducati, and they hit it right out of the park. A great bike, and it deserves to sit on top at first place. But who knows, maybe someone next year will redesign their bike and it will be enough to take Ducati off their throne. Anyway guys, thank you so much for watching. I would really appreciate it if you could leave a like and subscribe to see more of my motorcycle related content. Thank you, and have a good one.